Welcome to my remediation of my generational rhetoric paper. That was horrible. But I'm using the movie The After Party from Netflix, which is a special, I believe, quote unquote. Don't write me down on that one. But I do know that they're both playing two generational Z teenagers who are one O, aka Kyle, the actual rapper. He's trying to become a rapper in the movie as well, but he's either he has to fight the fact of one becoming a Navy SEAL, right? Yeah, because he's going to deploy to the Navy when in the day, he has one more day and it's their last day spending time together. And then Jeffrey, his childhood friend, who's been trying to push O to become a rapper his whole life, and being his manager. So they have different times where they get close to becoming famous over and over again, but something always happens wrong. So a big part of the movie was when O finally did well at a show, and then he threw up on a famous artist. I don't know if you know who Wiz Khalifa is, but he threw up on Wiz Khalifa in the movie, and then had a seizure on stage, and then became world star famous because he had a seizure and people made fun of him. It's hard world out here. But other than that, it's just one of those Cinderella stories that happens. You have to wait to the end to see how he magically doesn't have to go to the army and gets a record deal. But the problem with this is we have a clear depiction of the Generation Z, as in friend groups and a connection to social media and them being entrepreneur, and then if they're financial focused or not. But this goes against Miller's 10 things you need to know about Gen Zers. Well, the big debate for me was he had a lot of positives and negatives in the article. So the biggest part that I saw of me is two. The positives were Gen Z is connected. He said, and I quote, Gen Z has the power of technology in their hands and which allows them to communicate faster, is why he says Gen Z is connected, which I agree with, because once again, he got world star famous in over one night, and then everybody called him Caesar Boy for the rest of the movie. And then another part was Gen Z is entrepreneurial, and then his direct quote was, Gen Z desire for entrepreneurship allows space to contribute ideas. We'll see higher engagement because we feel a sense of ownership, which I also agree with, because the whole part of why O didn't want to go to the Navy SEALs, because he didn't feel that was really his calling. And once you feel that's your calling, you'll probably be more passionate about your work. But the negatives in Miller's article, I'll say, is that he said Gen Z prefers to work independently, but the problem with that is the whole movie is about a friend group, their best friends trying to work up together. So that's why I didn't really agree with it. But his direct quote for Miller was, unlike millennials, we've been raised on individualism and competitive natures, which I don't really agree with, due to the fact of, one, even if it's competitive nature, we'll still have a friend group that you'll try to circle yourself around. So even in the movie, he tried to whenever they did try to split up, the other will still try to help the other one out. So it's not even individuals per se, but more of a thought process. As oh, I need to fend for myself. I need to make sure I'm okay before the other person's okay. But in this group, they were a cohesive group. And finally, the last negative that Miller was saying was that Gen Z is financially focused. He said we prefer to operate in an enjoyable environment, But financial stability is takes predator. So it's basically saying that the money comes first, regardless of like if we enjoy what we do or not. But this clearly didn't speak for it, because like he at the end he chose being a rapper over going to Navy SEALs, which would probably be the greater choice for him due to the fact that Navy SEALs get paid overtime and like army compensation and stuff like that over being a rapper, which is just something that he enjoys. But it wouldn't be like a greater outcome for him due to the fact that like you chose to be something that you enjoy over the fact that you something that you get paid well. So it was just debunking both Miller's ideals to what he thinks Gen Z is versus like the movie that displays Gen Z visually. And on top of that, it was just sadly like, yes, of course people have their ups and downs. Like during the movie you could show like they have their up and down. But it's just the fact of the depiction of Gen Z is altered due to the fact neither one is like clear in sight. But like Miller had a great arguments that's like close to being depicted right, but at the same time he has a lot of negatives that don't really match up, which is probably the biggest problem about this whole thing. But to conclude it all, Miller was not accurate with the 10 things you need to know about Gen Z due to the fact that he only had half of the things right. But sadly, the movie shows like a better depiction due to like, one, I am a Gen Zer, but that's being biased. But being unbiased, it shows that like from like looking at Miller's versus like me looking to the movie, I can see myself more into the movie type of like how I think of myself and like how do I shape my life. Oh, that's all I have to say.